Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jack bringing you our week 6 of the LSBA. This week we are facing Alex. I believe you can see his Discord message right over there in the corner, and the Seattle Staraptors. I believe he's still getting ready to get the battle going. But just as a quick refresher, both for you guys as well as for myself, because it's been a while since I actually made this team. So we have Jack, the Choice Scarfed Infernape, with Stone Edge, U-Turn, Flare Blitz, and Close Combat. Physically Defensive Mew, with Stealth Rock, Defog, Soft Boiled, and Volt Switch, excuse me. Two that are one, the Doublade, Specially Defensive Spread, with Shadow Sneak, Pursuit, Shadow Claw, and Iron Head. Fat Man, the Mega Blastoise, we do have it set to regular form, level 50, so hopefully there's no problems there today. Max HP, max special attack. Water MZ Manaphy with Tail Glow, Rain Dance, Surf, and Ice Beam. And then Tootsie the Licky with our Wish Protect Explosion set. Pretty excited to see if that'll pay off this week. So I'm still waiting for him to get ready. I'm going to pause the video and we will resume once we are ready to go. Alright, so here we are with the battle. We finally connected. We both posted the link onto the Facebook page. I did mention this earlier, but I do have the damage calc already lined up here. I imported them on, so I don't have to worry about fiddling around with sets and stuff. So we are good to go there. Looking at team preview, he has the Azelf, which is most likely a lead Azelf, Focus Sash, Rocks, Explosion, stuff like that. Charizard, which I expected him to bring. Weavile, Starmie, another thing I expected him to bring, Staraptor, and Jirachi. So like I mentioned in the team builder, I had no idea, absolutely no idea what he was going to bring. So none of these mons really surprised me in any way. I kind of expected these mons as well as the rest of the mons to come. Looking at leads, like I said, I think that's a lead Azelf, Focus Sash with Rocks. It could be a lead Jirachi. He's brought Scarf Jirachi against me before, and he might have done that. He has a lot of U-turn capabilities. I think half his team, Staraptor, Jirachi, and Azelf all get U-turn. So he does have the potential to switch around a little bit. I could lead with Doublade here, because it takes on... Doublade is actually super important in this matchup. I really need to preserve it. I could lead off with Mew because he did not bring a ground type, so I am allowed to freely Volt Switch. And I could get up my Stealth Rocks, which I think I'm going to do. He could lead off with Azelf and might go for Taunt. We don't really lose anything there. So I am going to lead off with Mew, as he does lead off with Azelf, kind of what I expected. And I'm going to say he's going to go for a Taunt here because he does not want Rocks up on his side of the field. So I'm just going to go for a Volt Switch, expecting the Taunt. If he goes for Rocks, then I do have the Defog later on, and Mew can pretty reliably get a Defog off against this team, so I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, there's the Taunt as I go for the Volt Switch. And I could go into Doublade here. I could also go into Infernape to get a U-turn off. A U-turn should be able to take it out. Let me just check real quick against Azelf. Suicide lead, level 50. U-turn does 61 to 73%. And he is at 74, so U-turn does not knock him out. Let's see what Doublade does. Doublade, two that are one. Shadow Sneak does not knock him out either. Pursuit, if he's switching out, will knock him out. So what I think we're going to do is I'm going to go into Infernape. Because he can either stay in and get his Rocks up and take a lot from U-turn. Actually, no. I could go into Doublade. No, I'm going to go into Infernape here. It's a pretty safe. And I'm just going to go for a U-turn. So, like I said earlier, Doublade looks really nice. That's looking like to be my win condition, which is not a surprise because Doublade is almost always my win condition, because it's such a great mod. I love Doublade. So I really need to keep that thing healthy. I need to keep Licky healthy as well in case I do need it to take a hit and explode on something. Most likely the Charizard, because that's the Charizard is what I made the set for. So Licky is basically I have to keep Licky in the back just in case the Charizard does get a little out of hand. As I mentioned in the team builder, I think I cannot take a +2 Flare Blitz, so I've got to make sure that Charizard does not get out of hand. Here, I'm just going to go into Doublade. Because he's probably going to set up his rocks. Yeah, I'm just going to go into Doublade. Oh, very nice, very nice. Nice job. So I'm just going to go for a Shadow Sneak here because I don't really want rocks up on my side of the field, even though they don't hurt me too bad. They're just an annoyance. And there's no drawback to going for Shadow Sneak. And Doublade takes out the Azelf. Get the first kill. So without the Eviolite, that does make it more difficult. However, Doublade can still take on his Staraptor and his Jirachi pretty well. I think I can actually take a hit from Weavile. Weavile, say Life Orb, 50, and if I don't have an Eviolite, Knockoff does about 70% to me. Now I'm at 68, so it's a roll whether Knockoff takes me out or not. And then a Gyro Ball will definitely take out the Weavile. So he still has the potential to get up rocks with the Jirachi. Alright, so this is a problem. I could go into Mew, which doesn't get me anything. I could go into Blastoise, which can take any hit from him, basically. Which I'm thinking about doing, because Blastoise doesn't look too great in this matchup. It can take on the Weavile pretty well, as well as the Starmie, but they're only 1v1s there. And then if Charizard does go for a Dragon Dance, I can take any one hit and then destroy it with Dragon Pulse. And then if he attacks me outright, then I can take another hit as well. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to go into Blastoise. Charizard, I do not believe gets Pursuit, so we make sure that our Doublade stays nice and healthy. There is the Flare Blitz. He's starting to take the recoil. It looks like at that range, I will not be able to take a +1 Flare Blitz. What can I do here? He's not going to stay in, because the fact that I switched into Blastoise probably tells him that I do have the Dragon Pulse. So he's probably not going to want to stay in and take that, because Charizard can potentially do a lot of work against him. So I'm going to predict him to go into the Jirachi. That's basically the only thing on his team that can take a Dark Pulse. Let's just see how much Dark Pulse does to Fat Man. 135 versus Charizard, Mega Charizard. Oh, you Dragon Dance. If you're an offensive set, Dark Pulse does not a lot. Wait, what the heck? I felt like maybe. And then, like I said, I do have Infernape and Licky in the back in case he does decide to stay in order to take a hit and revenge kill it. So I am just going to go for the Dark Pulse here, as he does decide to stay in, as he goes for the Thunder Punch, which, I mean, it's very good on his part. Very good prediction. I guess not a prediction because he had that waiting specifically for the Blastoise. But now Blastoise is likely just going to go down here. I'm just going to let sack it, as he does go for the Thunder Pulse. So Blastoise does go down, which isn't too big of an issue because I can go into Infernape. Let's see what Close Combat does. Jack. Close Combat does... Oh, does it really do that much? So I can pretty freely go into Infernape here. He does not have a Ghost type, and his only fighting resist is the Starmie. Which if it's offensive, then it's not going to take a close combat very well. I could also go into Licky, but that's just a waste of the explosion. So I'm just going to go into Infernape here. And just go for the close combat. If he does go into Starmie, I can go into Mew pretty well. Or into Licky. But yeah. Very good prep on his part. So the fact that he has Thunder Punch, he might have the Dragon Dance and just didn't want to go for it. But so let's see, Flare Blitz, Thunder Punch. He might just sack the Charizard because if I do get up the rocks, then it is at 26%, so it will get one more switch in. But it can't. Like the only things that it outspeeds are Doublade. Which has the priority Shadow Sneak, so I'll be able to take it out, and Licky, which can take a hit from it anyways. So he might just decide to sack the Charizard here and get a free switch into the Starmie, which is what I would do, personally. He might also go into Jirachi. If he's a physically defensive Jirachi, it'll take the close combat pretty well. And looks like, now that Doublade is weakened without its Eviolite, Infernape might once again be my win con, especially if that it's looking like either probably Scarf Staraptor. He might be dual Scarf Staraptor and Jirachi, which he did bring against me last year during the playoffs. So there's the Starmie. He decides to preserve his Charizard. And we do not see leftovers, which leads me to believe it is an offensive Starmie. So let's just see how much Starmie offensive level 50 does to Mew. Custom set. Hydro Pump has a good chance to KO after leftovers. But if he doesn't go for the Hydro Pump, I can live 2. So I'm just going to go into Mew here and try to set up my Stealth Rocks. As he goes for the Scald. Oh, that... What? Hold on. Scald. What the heck? Is he must be Modest then. No, even Modest. How much did it do? It did 54% and that was Life Orb damage? Am I doing something wrong here? They're both level 50. Starmie, offensive. Oh, analytic, that's why. Okay, that makes more sense. So the fact that it was analytic damage, I should be able to live 1 more. I'm just, should I go for a soft boiled or just set up my rocks? I'm gonna go for a soft boiled here. Yeah, okay, that looks better. And the great thing about this that he's going for Scald is that if he does get the burn on us, then due to Synchronize, he'll get burned as well. So he might decide to switch here, saying that I'm just going for Soft Boiled and I'm just going to set up my rocks. He might decide to go out into Weavile, which would definitely be a good play on his part. Because he goes out into Jirachi. Probably going to set up his own rocks here. And I'm just gonna go into a Volt for the Volt Switch. He's probably gonna outspeed me because I don't have any speed invested, so I'll be able to get the slow Volt Switch here. Awesome! So he gets the fast U-turn, so I get intel of what he goes into, which is really nice, and I'll be able to go out into my appropriate mon. Now that Starmie is weakened, it looks like if I can get the Z Rain Dance up, I might be able to sweep with Manaphy. So I can set up against Starmie. Let's see what Starmie does to Manaphy. Custom set. Thunderbolt. Oh my goodness. Never mind, I cannot set up on Starmie. But I can probably set up on Charizard I'll take a lot, but that's pretty fine. I could probably set up on Jirachi. Actually, I think Jirachi is going to be the mon that I'm going to try to set up on. I don't think I'll be able to get up both a Z Rain Dance and a Tail Glow. I'll probably just be able to get off the Rain Dance, but I think even unboosted, that Manaphy will be able to put in some work. So Mew takes out the Starmie, which is really nice. Which is, like you guys saw, one of the things that threatened Manaphy. So I can go out into Licky here. Or into Infernape, because Infernape can pretty freely U-turn or close combat. Yeah, I think I'm going to go out into Infernape. And he's probably going to go out into his Jirachi here. And he'll be able to get the slow U-turn off. So let's see here. I think Infernape is definitely my win condition. Once Jirachi gets weakened a little bit, I should be able to sweep with close combats. If he goes into Jirachi, I'll probably U-turn into Doublade. He'll probably U-turn himself, but then Charizard I can Shadow Sneak. Weavile, I think I'll risk the damage roll, and then Staraptor can't really do anything to Doublade unless he's like Specs HP, like Specs Heat Wave or something like that, which would be a weird set. So yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. Mew is definitely a little low. How much is Mew at? Is at 30%. So Mew can be some death fodder in the future. Yeah, definitely Infernape is 100% my win condition. So the fact that you went for a U-turn on his Jirachi leads me to believe that he is Scarf Jirachi. So he could be Banded Staraptor, which could definitely be a problem. However, as long as Doublade is healthy... Oh, so he goes directly into Staraptor. So let's figure out... Infernape, custom set versus Staraptor. Let's assume Choice Scarf. Just because the way he brought it in leads me to believe that he is Choice Scarf. Brave Bird, of course, just demolishes me. A Stone Edge, actually, close combat has a good chance to knock him out. It has an 87% chance to knock him out after rocks, which I could take the risk there, but Doublade is just such a safe switch-in that I don't see why I wouldn't. Does Staraptor get... I don't think Staraptor gets anything that can touch Doublade. And even though I don't have the Eviolite, well, let's just figure it out. Nope, no point in taking unnecessary risks. So without my Eviolite, Brave Bird does 30% max, and I'm at 67. So unless he crits us, he can not 2-hit KO Doublade. And he does get a crit, which is very unfortunate. However, we are... So if he gets a max roll here, he can knock us out. However, I'm just going to go for the Iron Head. He does not knock us out, so Doublade is going to be able to knock out the Staraptor here. And now it looks like Infernape can clean up with Flare Blitz, honestly. It's kind of sad. I kind of wish I could show off the Licky set. But, you know, it happens. Let's make sure... Let's check to see how much Infernape does to Jirachi. And let's... I'm assuming he's Choice Scarfed. Flare Blitz is a guaranteed knockout. And if he is bulky, max physically defensive, bold, Flare Blitz does 60% minimum. So I think his only play is to go out into Weavile here and go for the Ice Shard. Jirachi I'll be able to Shadow Sneak, same with Charizard. So he does decide to go out into the Jirachi. So I'm just going to go for the Shadow Sneak here. Just get the damage I need on the Jirachi for the Flare Blitz on the Infernape to clean. I don't agree with that play. He definitely should have gone out into Weavile for the Ice Shard, because either, like we're just getting the chip damage here on Jirachi, because Jirachi does not get any... Oh, he might go for the Healing Wish. He might go for the Healing Wish. Which is actually, now that I think about it, probably what he's going to do. Which is a bummer. He'll obviously be going after Charizard, but then I could just go out into my Lickilicky and explode. And unless he roosts right after my explosion, a close combat coming in afterwards from Infernape should be able to knock it out. So that's not too big of an issue. So yeah, I guess that's the right play on his part to go for the Healing Wish, because he doesn't know my Lickilicky set. Obviously, he doesn't know that I am carrying the explosion. Let's just double check. Let's see here. Charizard, Dragon Dance, level 50. Let's see here. Yeah, so he did go for the Healing Wish. Pretty much what I expected. So, let's see here. This is a 50-50 now, because either he can just go straight up for the Flare Blitz to knock me out, or he'll just go for the Dragon Dance. How much does Shadow Claw? 50. First, let's check out our Blastoise damage to make sure. Batman, 135. Dark Pulse did 38 to 45. Let's scroll back up. Batman did Dark Pulse. He lost 60%. So that does not make sense unless he's naive. I don't quite understand. Oh, because I'm not... Oh, duh. Mega Launcher. And he is not naive, he is jolly. So that does look like a low roll on an offensive set. So... And then what does Doublade do to you with Shadow Claw? Shadow Claw does about 30%. I'm just going to go for the Shadow Claw here, because if he goes for the Dragon Dance, then I can go for another one, or a Shadow Sneak, and he'll probably be forced to attack me, because I don't think he has the Roost. He probably has Dragon Dance, Flare Blitz, Thunder Punch, Dragon Claw. So I'm just going to go for the Shadow Claw. Okay, thank goodness. He does not go for the D-Dance. So now I can just go out into Lickilicky here and just go for the Explosion. He can either sack his Weavile here. He might Roost, but if he will go first, so if he roosts up to full, then a close combat from Infernape afterwards should be able to take him out. And then if he switches out to Weavile, it comes back in, he'll take another 25% from Rocks. And then based on that calc earlier, okay, so he does go for the Dragon Dance. And Lickilicky takes out the Charizard. Nice! And now we can go into our Infernape and click Close Combat. Nice! I'm so glad that we were able to pull that off. So if he is Sash, obviously the Sash is broken, and Weavile is not going to be able to live a close combat. So we win our week. Is this week 5 or week 6? We win our battle, and we keep our undefeated streak. So we are on our way to a perfect season. Obviously, we're not going to get cocky. We're going to keep team building like we have been. Make sure that we're nice and ready to go. He's too focused on Manaphy. Hey, gotta acknowledge the real threat, Licky. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys. That was definitely a fun match. I'm really glad that I was able to show off Licky that set, and Fernet being able to come in, net in some kills as well. So really nice. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next time.